No, he's one of those people, Content or meeting is
Well,
being.
speaking of people,
Hmm.
we are live. God, we are live on Facebook Live. We are the Podguyz podcast, bringing it to you as
Sneezing
we
into
do.
our t-shirts.
We sell T-shirts by the seashore.
Yeah.
And sneezing them.
Yeah. They're the cure for the common cold. These Podguyz podcast T-shirts from merchbooth.com.
100% back to normal.
God, Tony just sticks the landing, just right in his nose.
Made out of dried mucus.
It's dried something.
Well,
I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the Wandalorian himself, Les Sparky.
All right. And for those of you that don't know Sparky, we have him as our visual aid to help us with stories around the globe. But more importantly, Tony, we have a second time guest on right now. A second time guest. She joins the very exclusive category of second time guests.
That's true. Brought back by popular demand, of course. We have the very talented Helaine Witt.
Thank you.
Woo.
I do not sneeze into my t-shirt, at least tonight, because I'm wearing a blouse.
Save a booger for later.
It's okay. You never know.
It's the gift of mucus for everyone.
The gift. Yeah, the Mucinex guy was the gift that just kept giving.
Yeah. Beautiful. So, Kevin, why don't you start us out, sir? You and Helaine go back quite a ways.
We do. We love each other. We used to be married in a couple past lives and divorced in other past lives. It was a rude awakening at the psychic who turned out to be a fake psychic. I couldn't believe it actually.
Boo!
Boo! Yeah. A lot of booing. Yeah, from the ghost that she said that she saw. But no, Helaine is a wonderful comedian. Helaine.
I guess that's better than the motorboating.
Motorboat. Oh, yeah, that's a sexual term. Tony's going all sexual on us, Helaine.
It's got to be from the ghost.
Helaine actually worked as a writer for Joan Rivers. Am I right about that, or am I exaggerating?
I wrote 10 jokes.
Look at that.
I don't like 10 to jokes. Say writer for. It sounds like I worked for her, you know.
You did. She was like, "Hey, what do you got?"
And then she used it 3 times and it bombed. She used one joke. I have it on video. She bombed it. She said it 3 times and it bombed.
Ah, man.
Boo, Joan Rivers. Boo.
No,
Joan Rivers.
Special. That made it memorable to me.
Hey, Joan, learn how to tell a joke. Where is she right now?
She gave it her all 3 times. And then she said, that was supposed to be my big joke. And that's why I'm on this podcast tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
See where the excellence in your career leads you.
We are the slide of Prime. Speaking of Prime, Tony, owner of Amazon Prime, Jeff Bezos, just did what no one thought could be done.
No way.
Yes, Tony. Yes, way indeed. If you hadn't caught the news, certain celebrities went up into space for the first time ever.
Did they really?
My God, they did. Girls the inside scoop is girls just want to have fun. 5 of them, 5 women went up into space right now. Yeah. Katy Perry being one. Who's the other ones, Tony? You know or no? Katy Perry, Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, Amanda Nagayan, and Carrie Ann Flynn. They all entered their new Shepard capsule and are getting strapped into their seats. They went up to space for 11 minutes, Tony.
Breathtaking.
My God.
11 breathtaking minutes.
Amazon bills at work.
There you go. If you're wondering where your Prime membership was going, it was to send 5 women up to space, which coincidentally, and they only asked for directions 4 times on the way there, which is great.
Now, each one of these tickets is, I believe, $1.3 million.
$1.3 million. Yeah, but
How
you know,
many people starving every day around the world? How many earthquakes? How many disasters?
Helaine,
correct.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
if
matter.
you could get shot up in the space in a giant penis, why wouldn't you?
Well, Tony, the women would have made it to the moon, but Jackie Gleason didn't punch them in the face. I know what you're thinking. You know, the ghost of Jackie Gleason. Bam, boom. No, Jackie, they just went on a rocket. We don't need your assistance on this one right now. Sparky has a picture of what happened, his own artistic envisionment of what happened while he was live on the scene. We are on our way to Uranus. It looks
beautiful.
Like,
wow, come on, Sparky.
Sparky, that looks like a giant rocket right there.
Yes, that is an excellent portrayal of Blue Origins. Although it's not blue where you think it would be.
Yeah, BBR right there. Big black rocket they went up in.
The big black rocket, correct.
Yeah, that's okay. It's good stuff there, Sparky. But they did not go to Uranus. They didn't make it there. No. That was the unforeseen territory right there. They went.
Gail King was quoted as saying, "I haven't had this much action for a long time."
They went for as long as.
It's actually true.
They went for as long as I like to go at anything, about 11 minutes. And then I'm like, what are we doing?
I heard a joke like that on Facebook. Someone said, but we have to bring...
It was Kevin, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, that was you, Kevin?
Maybe not. Probably not. It doesn't feel that original. It could have been anybody.
We could make a joke about Oprah and Gail with that picture, can't we?
Oh, 100%.
Put a little plug on it.
See, it's what they did after the capsule, or after the capsule, why it disappeared.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oprah was not allowed
to take it home.
Oprah was not allowed to go on the rocket because one of the side effects of Ozempic is no space travel.
Oh, you are funny. Oh my God! You didn't.
What? That's what she. That's the side effects to Ozempic right there. No space travel.
Oh my God! Did you write that yourself?
I'm just talking. I
know. It's just back and forth.
I like that one very much.
Thank you. No, there are a lot of side effects to Ozempic, Helaine. Are you aware of them?
Not specifically, but that was very funny.
Listen. Remember back in the day when celebrities wanted to just lose weight, they would just do cocaine. Like, just do that. There's not that many side effects with it. I mean, there's addictive qualities, of course, but they get a little fun.
You used the word addictive.
You used the $3 million on that, right, Oprah?
Yeah. I like the point that you made, though, that, of all the things to be doing in the world, we sent 5 women to space instead of feeding the whole entire world, clothing the poor and housing the homeless. It feels like it feels like the priority list of sending 5 women into space at the same time, not really way up there. But historically, this is the first time 5 women, without a man, have been up into space by themselves. And that feels kind of weird, right?
Especially with that picture that Sparky drew.
Yeah, especially.
It's battery operated. That's why it doesn't have a cord.
There you go. It's environmentally friendly. Then it's an electric. It's an electric rocket.
See, I'm trying to figure out how to work this joke because Oprah was on the ground floor, cheering her friend on, her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Although she didn't invite Stedman, just because she knew that he would be, embarrassed of what she's missing. Of course. Yeah.
What do you mean by embarrassed? You mean he'd be jealous?
He would definitely be jealous of everything that's there. And she would have to she'd have to upgrade. Like she always does.
Stedman kind of when you're
he's
like,
cuckolding in the corner somewhere.
Listen, I get where you're going with that, Tony. When you're a certain level of celebrity, right, and your counterpart isn't at all, everyone's gonna look at the counterpart like they're a lapdog. Like, oh, you brought your child with you today. It's like, no, this is,
Stedman.
Oprah's husband, whatever his name is, Stedman.
They never got married,
Stedman.
did they?
No, they
No.
never got married. He just lives with her, and every now and then she brings him into a room and starts bitching. I guess I don't know. I have no idea what their relationship consists of.
That's exactly what it is.
I can't really
She's like,
imagine them.
Here, I'll polish him off and bring him out for a special party. This is the Stedman. Okay, you can go back in your hall now.
Like, I feel like if Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg did something, like Snoop Dogg comes into the room and says, like, yo, Martha, want to get freakity deekity? And she's like, don't you mean, may I get freakity deekity? And I feel like she would just correct his grammar, sort of thing. Even though they are probably the same age. What is Martha 80 and Snoop Dogg is 80 in dog years? It's doing something with nothing right
What's
there.
Stedman's last name again?
Stedman is
Is he a Winfrey? Did he take her last name?
Did he really? No.
No, I don't
Stedman
think
Graham.
Wow.
They've been together since 1986.
Well, nothing funner than taking the last name of a graham cracker,
Well, it says here right on the AI overview. She says Stedman Graham is her partner. They've been together since 1986. That's the same year she became celibate. Don't hate it, Kevin. Don't.
I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it.
Kevin took a longer pause after your joke than I've ever heard him take.
He did. I know. He was sad about it. He was like, "Why you dicking on Stedman like that?"
I'm just saying, like, did Oprah choose Stedman to keep her celibacy?
Yes.
Because the guy exudes the energy of don't have sex with me. He just
he's a businessman, an educator, an author, global lecturer. He's the chairman and CEO of S. Graham and Associates, a management, marketing, and consulting firm.
Okay.
But they've never married. They don't have any kids. That's the way they like it.
Okay, we're seeing a picture.
And Sparky's got well, we're about to find out. Sparky, turn that around. I have no idea what's going on here. The ladies made it to the moon. Yes, that means our sandwiches will be made when we get there. Okay.
Extra cheese. Extra cheese.
Yeah, it's nothing quite like going pure chauvinistic on that one, Sparky. Holy crap. Is that what the men really thought, though? Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
When the moon hits your eye, she's making a pie on the windowsill. Fucking Dean Martin. Were you a Dean Martin fan or no?
Yeah, still am.
Well, he's no longer making music because he's not living anymore. But I guess he could still be, right?
Watch, like videos, YouTube
videos. The one movie that I liked that wasn't a Dean Martin, but when he was when him and Jerry Lewis were making movies, I mean, that was a combination right there. That was a tandem. I mean, you got to put it as top 5 duos to ever do it. You could put them both in a room, and the chemistry was unmatched by anybody, especially for those times. They just played off of each other so well. They knew what their personas were, and they just gelled just perfectly. You could have just put them in movie after movie after movie, and Hollywood did after the longest time.
Picture when they had their fight or what it was about?
I would have to think that it was about money. I think that it was probably about that because when somebody's getting top billing or who's getting bottom billing, who's getting more lines, who's the butt of the joke, I would assume that it was probably about money. I don't know if it was ever really talked or confirmed of what it was actually about, but when they were full steam ahead, I mean, it was pure entertainment magic around those times, especially God, I remember the movie before that, about, it wasn't starring them, it was Pennies from Heaven. Have you ever heard of Pennies from Heaven, the movie that?
I've heard of it, sure.
Bing Crosby. Now, this plot sounds just weird, right? It's just out of control. But this is how plots work. A homeless man who played the mandolin, right, ends up bumping into a little girl who's trying to find her grandfather. What the fuck? So instead of saying like, "Oh, I'll call the police because you're a wandering child in the street," he he was like, "Oh, you can hang out with me." And wander around the streets. And she's like, well, how will we eat? How will we, get, money? And he says, oh, well, we'll just get pennies from heaven. He would play the guitar, the mandolin, and people would throw pennies from the balcony as he sang a song. It was just a different kind of plot. But I am looking up right now the Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin breakup and why they broke up.
I want to say this on one of the Jerry Lewis telethons. Frank Sinatra came on and matched them together after all the time they feuded.
Yeah. By the time
feuded.
That is a word. Yeah, fed. By the time they were working on what would be their final film together, Hollywood or Best in 1956, tensions had gotten so high that at one point, as Lewis recalls in his funny and touching 2005 memoir, Dean and Me, a love story, Martin angrily told Lewis that he was nothing but a fucking dollar sign.
Oh, you were right.
Yeah, it's about money.
But also Dean Martin drank, if he really drank.
Yeah, there was rumors that it was a prop glass, but I don't know how those were prop slurs or because acting drunk wasn't really a popular thing back then. Hey, who was your favorite comedian when you were first up and coming?
Oh, Joan Rivers, when I was up and coming. I mean, she inspired me. But I used to watch like the Dick Van Dyke Show and Joey Bishop. And, my father loved Bilko. Do you remember Bilko, you youngsters?
Oh, that is a throwback right there.
My father.
You're going to have to enlighten me on who Bilko is.
It's Ernie Kovacs. You could go watch some YouTubes.
Mm-hmm.
Ernie Kovacs played Bilko. He was a sergeant. And he had these people in his platoon who were like useless. Some of them.
Yeah, so Steve Martin played Sergeant Bilko back as a remake for the idea of Bilko. And then you had this Bilko right here. See?
That was fast. Well, yeah. I think that Tony would love to go watch a Bilko sitcom. Not
Tony,
now.
It's a very good rewatch all around. I mean, you had this actor appeared in not only the Brady Bunch, but he appeared as like Alice's boyfriend in the Brady Bunch, and he was on All in the Family, just like a throw-in guy. I forget his name offhand, but Bilko was really funny stuff. You even had the it was opposite of opposite of the Bob Hope show at that time, even. Oh God, Jack Benny. There you go. Yeah,
you forgot his name.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
That guy.
It's been a long yesterday into today. The violin playing Jack Benny, where he always had a little stammer. My favorite sketch from the Jack Benny show is when he was doing this sketch called "There's No Such Thing as a Bad Boy" with Milton Berle. Remember that or no? So Milton Berle, him and his Jack Benny and his wife, who was always like much younger and better looking than him, but who the hell isn't better looking than Jack Benny? They adopt a child from the adoption agency, and it's Milton Berle, who's like 40 years old. Because why not, right? They adopt the child, and Milton Berle, he's basically playing a scumbag throughout the whole entire thing. But Jack Benny, he's playing this heart of gold father, is saying there's no such thing as a bad boy, right? And Milton Berle ends up stealing and shooting them towards the end of the sketch. And Jack Benny's last words are defending the so-called child that they just adopted. It's just such a silly sketch, to even put out there at that time. Because who adopts a 45-year-old guy?
That is funny. Rochester was his servant.
Yeah, and that
was like ahead of its time, or should I say backwards of its time? Backwards in its time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think a lot of people would understand the time period because we're dealing with a generation that feels it's okay to get immediately offended and stay there rather than get offended and then get curious and then dig down and then figure out what's going on. Rochester was a houseboy, so to speak, of Jack Benny, and that was the terminology used. There were other portrayals of butlers that were Vietnamese or Chinese or whatever as well. Rochester was a black dude played by Eddie Anderson. And this was like a real job that people had as a live-in houseboy. And that was how it all started. Now, was it racist? I mean, there was a particular race that it didn't center. It wasn't a white guy's job for the most part. So if you want to focus on the race part, yeah, it could have been a little bit of racism. Was there a social, was there a social ladder to climb in the meantime? Absolutely. There was totally at that time. But as the world happens, we all eventually evolve. Tony's got something in his eye there. Tony, what's going on? Are you crying? Am I making you cry?
Something in my eye.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
For those of our non-viewing audience, take note. Tony is crying right now.
Very much so. Jack Benny always gives me tears.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of lawyer movies where it's just like, take note, put it down.
He's crying because when you said about Rochester rising socially, he didn't rise too much further, and that made him cry.
That's true. That's true.
What did you share here in the Podguyz podcast page, Tony? Johnny Depp is officially making Hollywood movies again in the first look at Lionsgate Day Drinker. Like, Day Drinker, is that them just following around Johnny Depp drinking?
That's it. Yeah.
Like, that's not a movie. Like it called Day Tripper, the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I guess, where he just takes acid and fucks around and all that nice crap.
How do you feel about not necessarily modern time comedians, but there's a lot of great comedians such as like Carrot Top that kind of floats around every once in a while too.
Me, I never saw him perform.
Nothing, huh? Wow.
I didn't live in Vegas, but even Linda living there, I don't think she saw him perform at the hotel.
Out in Vegas, huh? Nothing. I know. What's his name? What the hell's that guy who's doing the freaking? He's been there for like probably 100 years now. I think they've formaldehyded him into the Palms Casino.
Ooh, Wayne Newton.
Wayne Newton, yeah.
I was thinking there's no other person you could be talking about.
Yeah. He's still there, like still
Can you
performing.
imagine singing Dunkashane for every night of your life for the last 70 years?
Oh my God.
It would be like a comfort if he had dementia and that was like his only thing he had to do. And they're like, "Wow, Wayne, you sound amazing." Dunkashane. Don't interrupt him. He doesn't know where he is right now. This is all he's just always on.
We pay him in cold shrimp.
I don't get it, but I heard that.
That's a terrible paycheck, cold shrimp.
Oh, I heard that Paul Anka or Frankie Valli is just like a robot, and I saw.
Oh my
Brian
God, Frankie
Wilson.
Valli, that dude they literally Hannibal lectured him out on the stage.
With
the little trolley, and they were like,
the memes for when he comes out the stage were something like, when I go to work and I don't give a fuck, like he's just going out there.
Phenomenal.
Lip syncing, of course. I think he's 90 years old now, Frankie Valli.
Well, I saw Johnny Mathis. He was about 88 or something. He was great.
Was he still able to sing and perform in that, right?
He was performing.
Wow.
I want to say, I went to see Brian Wilson, and he was like, he's suffering with his back and his brain. He was just like a robot sitting there, and they had him play one note, and it was the wrong, like he pressed the wrong note. One note, and it was wrong. And then he's watching the curtain like he can't wait for the curtain to go down. It was sad. I mean, they placed him there.
I wonder if Paul McCartney's still going. Is he still?
He is. I could vouch for that. 3.5 hours, totally playing.
Wow. That's amazing. It's between Paul McCartney, the Rolling Stones are still high energy, still going at it.
And Rod Stewart. I can tell you about those guys.
Elton John, unfortunately, is due to an infection. He's now blind.
Yeah.
And he can't walk too well because I went to see him, and his piano gets moved across the stage. That was sad, but he has these little children.
Yeah, I mean, the musicians do get old. Performers eventually get old, and it's tough to watch. It's tough to get used to, because you're used to seeing Elton John never looked like he was aging. Paul McCartney, I mean, he must be in his 80s right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Bob Dylan fan myself. He's about 83 years old right now.
Kevin, we're going to play a little game after Sparky spins this thing around here.
Beautiful. Sparky, spin that thing around right there.
Donka Shane.
Yeah.
I do not know the other words.
Hey, wait. Is that Joe Biden? Says the people in the crowd. Yeah.
That's funny.
No, it wouldn't be Donka Shane. It'd be like, you know the thing. Say the thing.
Donkey Shane. Yeah.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Can you believe that in Vegas right now, right? They have some of the biggest stars in the world that happen to go all over Vegas. Mariah Carey, the Eagles, and Maroon 5 are set to take 2025 by storm in Vegas. Guess the ticket price. Guess the ticket price of these fantastically fun shows in Vegas, starting with our buddy Wayne Newton.
$75.
We're gonna go a little bit higher. Wayne Newton. Okay, we're gonna go higher. I'll say 300.
A little too high. $89. $89 to go see Wayne Newton in the Flamingo. Sing Donka Shane on repeat.
Well, tickets to see Paul are ridiculous. My friends sit in the front because I'm a Beatle fanatic. $10,000.
That's crazy.
Ringo was $500 for the front row.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well,
guess
another great name that is also not to say premiering into his role into the Vegas spotlight. Good old Tom Jones.
Tom Jones, how much are the ticket prices going for?
Well, that's what we're going for, sir.
Well, it wouldn't.
200.
What are you thinking? Kevin?
I think it wouldn't be unusual for it to go for $100 a ticket.
Not. That would be further up high.
Oh, yeah. Sparky's got 500 there on the big board. $500.
Sparky's going
Tom
500
Jones.
for the win. Because it's at the Wynn Casino, by the way.
All right.
I want to change what I said about $10,000. With the $10,000, you would get food and a poster. When I went to see Brian Wilson, I got a book, a poster, and a talk. What do you call that? A talk and walk.
A Q&A?
Yeah, but given he's like didn't answer anything and he wasn't even like present.
Huh.
Mentally available. Yeah.
Yeah.
$300+
for
Tom Jones.
300.
But is that the front row or is that the back row? Because that makes
I'm not really sure. It's on man.
It does
matter.
matter.
On Billboard page, so I don't know if that's for front row, but I mean, if you can go see freaking Wayne Newton for $89, but you got to pay $300 to go see Tom Jones. I
When
don't know.
I saw Barbara Streisand years ago in New York, and I was in the last row for 300. Then I moved up at the break, and she had a mentalist wasting time for us, and then a break and a mentalist. And then I moved up to the section where you're not supposed to go, where what's it called again? Bad view.
Oh, the nosebleeds. Yeah.
No, I
Oh,
mean
yeah.
the view. It's called
Obstructed view.
yeah. So I sat there
Oh,
by
the
myself,
obstructed view.
and you know what
Yeah.
I got to see? She did 5 decades worth of songs, and they had a teleprompter telling her every word out of her mouth what she was gonna say. But it was a good seat. But 300 for the last row,
Damn.
300. Geez.
and that was 10 years ago.
Barbara Streisand did come up with the marketing device called the Farewell Tour. And she had 7 farewell tours. 7
That's true.
farewell tours. Now, other bands picked up on this and they were like, wait a second, you just lied to everybody? She's like, oh, I didn't lie. I changed my mind.
Well,
they're like,
how about
okay, all right, we got it.
How about the Who, Eric Clapton? Everyone had, Elton John had a farewell tour that went 2 years.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. She was the originator of the farewell tour that never says farewell.
That's funny.
You know who never says farewell?
Who is that, Tony?
Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart. If you think I'm sexy and you want my body, Rod Stewart, or is it downtown train Rod Stewart? I had somebody once when I was serving tables tip me in the greatest hits of Rod Stewart, and I felt like I would rather $5, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Stewart, my friend just went to Holland for the day just to see him. And he's been doing it. Do you see online? He's been doing pop-ups in the malls, train station.
Yeah, he has been. Yeah, he's definitely outlived Phil Collins. Phil Collins is not looking very good right now.
But
he's right in there.
Well, he's actually. I want to say this about Rod Stewart because I am a fan. He does every single song. When I saw him at the Garden, he said, "Thanks for coming out in the snow." He was so sweet. He did have a break. They all take a nap in the middle of the day of their show. I mean, they have someone else and they go in the back, and even the Eagles took a nap. I call it a nap. But anyway, he did every single song.
Wow. How much do you think his tickets would run, Kevin?
Rod Stewart, you're looking at least, I'd say, in the range of $700 a ticket.
Wow.
That would be front row.
That would be, that would be extreme front row. That's a meet and greet right there.
Is that?
Because I do go to concerts. I'll guess 150 for the Garden.
Wow, you were right on it, Helaine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 100 and 150.
Yeah. I want to imitate Eric Clapton when he gets on stage. It's like, he's like, no offense, Bob Dylan. They don't say hello. What are they on the spectrum? He can't say hello. Bob Dylan, he can't say goodbye. And Eric Clapton's like, I'm Eric Clapton and I'm going to sing this. I'm going to do blues for 45 minutes. You could want bell bottom blues, but you're not getting it. You're going to get an old, blues song for 45 minutes. And I'm going to play just a few of those long ones. And then I'm going to leave. Fuck you.
I think Bob Dylan has stage fright, to be honest with you.
Really? Oh, you're defending why he's not sociable?
Yeah. I think, where you're like, hey, Bob, you're like, oh God. Oh God. Because he has that look on his face.
One more for Where People Go to Die. Of course, this superstar has a Las Vegas residency, Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow.
He's here today, like in New Jersey, like yesterday.
What would you say, nosebleed? Do you want to go nosebleed or do you want to go front row?
Let's take the average, Tony. Let's take the average everyday ticket. Barry Manilow knows that his
dead
potential.
Center.
I'd say 200, no problem. Yeah.
You are a bit high, sir. Barry Manilow tickets 103 for dead center.
Okay.
Nosebleed 77, and front left right is 141.
Wow.
Tony. Front row?
Front left and front right, 141.
Yeah, that's not front row. Front row. They
That's
go nuts.
well, it's not front row dead center, but it's front row left right.
Yeah.
I don't even
I'm
think they
done.
have a front row dead center for anything for Barry Manilow. But that's according to StubHub, anyways.
Can I tell you what happens with the Paul tickets and Ringo? Because I have friends who have 10 computers and phones, and they have patients waiting in their waiting room. I'm not kidding. And they're trying to get the best tickets. The minute it goes on sale, somebody buys them up and then sells them. So those $500 Ringo tickets weren't even front row. People buy them up and then sell them, just like you have a scalper in person 20 years ago. It's horrible.
It's true. Yeah, it's really true.
You know, it's really horrible. Have you ever heard of an escape room, Helaine?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this guy going around constantly right now. He keeps locking the door to escape room businesses and then throwing a piece of paper in there for how they can get out.
That's true.
Yep. He's hit up 36 different escape room entrances by locking the owners in there himself.
And then shoving a piece of paper through with the combination in order to escape from the escape room.
Crazy.
No,
I mean,
it's
a joke.
Yeah, it's so funny. It is so funny.
Is Sparky gonna draw a picture of that?
I mean, he would just basically draw what the guy's doing. Yeah. Alec Baldwin was
a piece of paper.
Alec Baldwin's getting harassed again, but that's something.
Yeah, it's always funny. Always funny. You know what? There's a big thing over in Vegas called the Sphere. Have you seen that at all?
Yeah, that's where the Eagles play.
The Eagles, U2. They've had some very, very momentous concert occasions there.
Dead.
UFC fight. They've officially run out of ideas. So they're gonna play life-size movies on the Sphere.
Really?
What's the featured movie right now?
The featured movie right now is The Wizard of Oz.
No one's ever seen that.
No.
I mean,
you know what? It's funny what you said, because do you know the Sphere like Linda used to live in walking distance, so it changes. When I went to visit her, it changes all the time. So when you said they run out of the ideas, that sounded funny because it changes all the time.
It does. And that's 100% for why it's running out of money.
I heard the tour, just to see the tour, is $65.
The tour is $65, yeah. So they charge people to go inside and take a look at it when it's not running.
when it doesn't have a concert, you mean?
That's great.
But you said it run out of ideas. How could you do that when your picture on yourself is changing every second?
Well, the fact is, Helaine, that what's happening out there is that they haven't not the fact that they're running out of ideas, the amount of money that it takes to run that every day, with staffing, lights, electricity, concessions, all that fun stuff that's been going on there. They're actually in the red so much money that they can't get enough people to come there for these concerts and activities and like all these different things that they have going on at the Sphere. Now, it's a great idea. It's a fantastic model for making money. If you could actually get that to make money, wow. That would be great. Now, is it a cool niche for Las Vegas? 100%. Of course it is. It's as popular as the Las Vegas sign that you can get your picture taken with driving right into Vegas itself.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, where I grew up, Belmont Racetrack now has an arena attached to it, and they took down Belmont's where they have the stakes.
Sure.
And they're going to redo it. And I'm glad I don't live down the block anymore, because it would be hard to park at your own house. It was bad enough with the racetrack. And it's hard. Listen to this, how stupid it is.
I'm ready.
Traffic rush hour on that road. So
Oh, good
now
luck.
you have people going to the arena. That's 50,000 people plus the everyday bumper to bumper traffic going home on rush hour.
Go figure. You have the horses racing up the side street. You got the cars and traffic right behind.
That's funny.
That'd be awesome.
I'm glad I don't have to go home from work and sit in that traffic plus the 50. And then the train there, you could live right behind it and walk there, because if you took the train, you have to go to another station and come all the way back. These are the little ins and outs of where I live. Maybe boring to you.
Belmont is of course, Belmont Park, New York, home of one of the largest racetracks in the history of racing horses. But that whole area in there, why is it getting not to say why is it getting remodeled, because it's like 100 years old, but is it just getting updated, or is it getting like rejuvenated into something new?
I don't know enough about it, but where will they have the stakes this year if it's being rebuilt? Where?
Oh, that's true too.
Maybe you could Google where they're going to have the stakes.
Where will the Belmont be held, right? Now that they're under construction right now. It's not a bad idea. Where will the Belmont? I mean, anybody can comment in the comments section, get a little bit ahead of us.
We've got Google. We've got Google. As a result, the new Belmont Park.
What is it, Saratoga?
No, Belmont Park, man.
Belmont Stakes at Saratoga Racecourse.
Yeah.
They can't have it there, Tony, because they're remodeling it, so they're going to have.
Yeah, of course. Well, construction is underway in Helaine, and this is why we have the internet. As a result, the new Belmont Park will feature the safest and most modernized racing surfaces in the sport.
Ooh.
When will construction begin? No one knows. How long will it take? Forever. Construction is currently underway. The project is estimated to be complete by the third quarter of next year.
Wow.
So, in other words, it'll be in Saratoga?
Yeah. Brand new $2. Saratoga.
It used to cost $2 to walk in at the Belmont Stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. What is it now?
$2 that day. But the stakes don't start till 5 p.m. They have other races.
Oh, of course. And I'm sure there's like 20 races even before, in between.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what Sparky has for us.
Sparky's got something good going on right there.
I hope he's killing the horse.
Okay.
He's of course. Katy Perry will be on stage soon at the Sphere. We hope she can land in the hole. Now, as you can see, that is clearly a rocket ship right there. For some people that might have perverted eyes, they might think it's a cock and balls, but it's not. It is
Blue Origin's rocket ship.
It is their rocket ship with the 5 women going into the Sphere right there to all, be a hypothetical celebration for the 3 people that showed up, because no more than 3 people would want to see that shit.
Yeah. And they need to be yelling out, "You too?"
With or without you. Yeah, Sparky, that is amazing. Where was your last show, Helaine?
Last night I was on 2 shows in this little place. I walked in and the guy who books one of the shows invited me to be in his show. And then I was in another show in the same building.
Same building. What time was there around? Like 4 o'clock? Was it a 6 o'clocker?
It was, I went as a bringer because I told you that's what we deal with. For my friend at 7:30, and then my show started at 8:30. And then he came to mine. We swapped.
All right. Well, you see how that doesn't really do anything, like the clubs want to do this kind of stuff, and there's an easy way to manipulate it in that. So the clubs shouldn't want to do this stuff. Wouldn't it be better if they just had more talent on stage for a longer show, and then more people actually there to see it? I don't know.
2 different rooms.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Where was this at? Manhattan or?
Yeah, and down in Greenwich Village, they
Yeah.
made 2 rooms in one building.
Is Shelby still running that place or no?
Oh, this isn't Greenwich Village Comedy Club. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
No, I don't know Shelby.
No, she's very nice person, very talented. Claims to be the granddaughter of Jackie Mason. You know,
Oh, you mean Sheba Mason?
Sheba. I'm saying
Yeah,
Shelby.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, faux
just-
pas.
Linda
Faux pas,
was,
sir.
Linda was just in a show where Sheba was the hostess. There's a host. There's a picture of Linda with Sheba on her Facebook. Yeah, she doesn't run any club. She has shows. This
I
is
had a cat
different
named that
little
one.
room.
Tony had a cat named Sheba. Does that count?
It
Sure.
does. It does.
No,
Yeah.
Tony, it does not count for shit.
No. Oh,
Where is that cat now?
long gone. Long gone.
Tony has a
A plethora of cats.
he has a cat rescue at his house that
Right.
and then he eventually find his way to the Chinese restaurant,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
one thing leads to the next, and then he loses some cats with a huge wink right there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what you're doing, Tony. I know it.
There's a reason why I'm large and in charge.
We feed him rice. He give us cat.
Meow. It's
Yeah.
a meowing.
Yo, we got 2 outside right there, and I'm trying to like talk to them, like get out of here. Nobody wants you around here. And they're looking at me like, food.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. They're animals. When people,
Well, Kevin, guess what? Get
people
your
piss-
sunglasses ready.
I will,
Do you know why?
because my future is so bright.
Well, there's a surprising airline that's actually running surprise flights with unknown destinations
Yeah.
all across the world.
This feels like Al Qaeda. Is that what they're
This
doing
sounds
now?
very much like Epstein Island.
It feels just like kidnapping. Only you're
100%.
cosplaying the idea.
Yeah. The travel scheme is called Destination Unknown.
I thought that was called tickets we couldn't sell.
Also
I mean,
correct. Also
Formerly
correct.
known as tickets we could not sell.
But Kevin, have you ever found yourself looking to book a holiday,
Oh my God. All the time.
but you have zero ideas on where you want to go?
You know what? I always have some idea, but I'd rather have zero.
No,
idea.
you don't. You have
My
zero
God.
idea.
Zero idea.
Zero idea.
I'd
Yes,
rather have none.
Epstein Island is on the list, but for inspiration, Kevin,
Hmm.
in the hopes of snatching up a seat on a cheap flight.
Yeah.
Of course, why waste the time when you could let someone else just pick for you?
Just anywhere, right?
Absolutely anywhere is on the map. You're throwing the dart at the board, and
Hmm.
that is exactly what one airline is encouraging its customers to do
Who's
part-
that?
as
What
a part of a new
airline?
scheme which allows people to board a plane without the faintest idea of where they're going. Now, this scheme, because it's a scheme,
Hmm.
captured people's attention when traveler Miss Joe shared a snap of their departure gate on Twitter. When you buy a ticket and board the plane, then you find out where you're going. Would you do it? Now, responses to the idea have varied, with some people confused about whether or not the scheme would land you in visa issues, while others worried about finding last-minute accommodations, which are both fair points, by the way,
Oh yeah.
but not very adventurous, Kevin. Who cares about all that?
Throw it all. Throw it
Yeah,
all.
when you're landing
Yeah.
in a third world country with no place to sleep.
I think we should focus more on being afraid of fourth world countries. I've been to third world countries, and I'm like, this is basically America. What are these guys talking about? Yeah, because they got a broken faucet over there and a dogfight in the alleyway. I'm sorry, this feels like Detroit.
Yeah. Good old Scandinavian Airlines, Kevin. Scandinavian Airlines has now announced for the second time.
What, a trip to the Gaza Strip? Are we having a big surprise like that? Are we going to
Mystery
Darfur?
flights, sir. Mystery flights.
Are we going to Darfur here? You know, where there's no airline, they just crash a plane into the freaking abyss.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you go from New York to New Jersey and bumper to bumper traffic to the George Washington Bridge, you like if let's say Linda and my friend Debbie and I are going to comedy, we have to pull over and go to the bathroom in New Jersey, and there are two kinds of bathrooms at two.
Yeah,
stops.
nobody does that.
Well,
Hey,
some
because you
people
can't
could
make a
hold
left
it.
turn in Jersey.
Yeah, but some people could hold it. So anyway, there are two stops. We chose the wrong one. Well, I shouldn't tell you that yet. One of them's like a 7-Eleven or a modern Shell gas station with a beautiful bathroom. And we went to what I call downtown Beirut. They tell you the bathroom's outside. It doesn't flush. The colors, the bowl is dirty and there's no soap and it doesn't lock. So I call it downtown Beirut. So my friend said, why don't you say that when you get on stage? Boy, oh boy, coming over here to the show, I had to go to downtown Beirut at the gas station.
Did it kill?
No, I didn't say it, but I feel that.
Oh, you should have. You should have.
Missed
There's three things that you
opportunity.
can find in a Beirut bathroom, and that's a bomb, a crackhead,
Yeah.
and a
And
brick
the man
connected with the
even
key.
said, you know, before we even stepped into the part that's where you pay, he went like that, like he knew he had to go to the bathroom. And he looked like he was from downtown.
Sir, can I
That's
use
an
the
amazing
Nothing wrong
story?
with that.
Sir, can I use the bathroom? Yes, but you must marry my daughter. All right, I'll piss outside. All right, I will piss outside then. You're
Yo,
done.
nowhere to lie, right? Many years ago. No, yo, this is like true story, right? Sparky, you better get your freaking drawing hands ready. I went down into Baltimore quite a few years ago. And I went right outside Little Italy. And Kevin, I don't know if you know exactly where that area is, but there's Little Italy and then there's like row houses.
Mhm.
Absolutely every single place around there. And I went to this. I did the whitest thing that anybody in all of whitedom has ever done in their whiteness. And I went up to this gas station because I was lost and I was looking for directions.
Mhm.
And I saw the guy in the window, and he was an Indian guy. And he goes, "Yo, white boy, you're pretty brave." I said, "What? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Nobody gets out of the car in these parts." I said, "Man, I'm lost. I need directions." He's like, "Yo, you even stupider for getting out of your car."
That's funny.
I said, "You're right. You are right, sir."
And that's how you lost your virginity. Amazing.
That's how I lost my virginity and my car.
In the Bronx, I once had to pull over to go to the bathroom in a bodega. And, you know, I was scared to get out of the car, but it was so loud. The music was so loud. They played it so loud.
Those dang bodegas. You got to watch out.
Not bodega, disco.
Oh, way different place.
Come on now. Yeah.
Way different place.
They don't sell pretzels in a bag there, you know.
You can't smoke a Cuban in one of those.
Yeah. Bodegas
Or
are fun. It's
can
almost
you?
bodegas are kind of fun. It's almost like somebody took a she shed one day and then said, "Hey, why don't we sell stuff here?" And they're like, "Oh, okay. So we're gonna want to do some extra construction, right?" And they're like, "No, absolutely not. We're gonna put the cash register anywhere around here, and whenever anybody needs help with anything, we'll tell them to fuck off, get out of here." Gotta
And
love
there's always a
bodegas.
cat.
Always a
cleaning up
cat.
the mice.
Always
Every
a cat
time.
for the mice. Every bodega,
Yeah.
you know, has to have it's like a junkyard cat kind of thing, kind of complex, you know, a little gypsy cat roaming around. And we have a shop me and my wife go to and see. It's a little Filipino shop downtown here, and you know, some very interesting foods. But you have to call before you get there because it's in a very delicate spot of Wilkes-Barre that, you know, if you go banging on the door, she won't answer at all. So it feels like I'm in some kind of fucking adventure book every time I need to get groceries from there.
I mean, that's probably where you got the bangus and chicken, right?
The bangus and chicken?
Yeah, is that what it's called?
No, that was fish.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we end up getting
cooked dinner, bangus, and chicken.
No. Well, that's not where we got it from, though.
Okay.
We bang us some chicken.
Bangus and chicken. Yes.
Bungus.
Oh, okay. I once again all wrong, buddy.
Bungus and chicken.
Bungus and chicken.
And then it says, "Nadang akana hubby sabangus."
Sabangus.
See, I'm
See, now
fluent.
that totally got.
Yeah, you're talking about banger chicken. You're like
Banger chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you got some bangos. You know, I guess you got some fuck me soup, huh?
Yeah. It comes with the upside down pineapple. Do you know what the upside down pineapple stands for, Helaine?
No.
Oh, it's a culture shock of people that are swingers.
And where'd it come from?
I don't know where it originated from, but it was on cruise ships predominantly, where couples would go in and they'd like to have coitus with other couples, and of course they would hang an upside down pineapple on their door, and it would trigger the other swinging couples to come over and knock on the door. That way they can enjoy the festivities of the ship.
Yep. It's a whole thing right now. What does the upside down pineapple mean on cruises? It's a whole swinger thing. Helaine, do you know any swingers or no? Do people still?
No one.
No one
killed himself, so she stopped swinging with him anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of bring him along for a little bit, but after a while, people are going to catch on.
Yeah. The whole weekend at Bernie's thing is just,
I mean, that's like a coy way to use. That's like a coy way to just get a threesome where you're like, "Hey, we'll all switch."
So you can always do the bringer squads with that.
You could, yeah. Just bring your dead husband along, and Roman be like, he's with me. Yeah, he came here to see my act.
Yeah, it's a 1 drink minimum for him.
Yeah. Why are there maggots eating his neck? No reason.
Yeah.
He had a bad salad earlier. Yeah.
That's funny.
Here's how the article puts it there, Tony. Have you ever noticed that upside down pineapple symbol on a cruise ship and wondered what it's all about? Whether you are simply just curious or keen to heat up your cruise ship experience, this guide has got you covered. Get ready to unravel the mystery behind the discreet signal and discover how to add spicy fun to your next cruise.
That's right, folks. Hang up your upside down pineapple.
Oh, God. It feels
Get ready for this enjoyable story.
It feels like as if you were to heat up a pineapple in the microwave and fuck it would be a better time than
core it out.
Cruise ship. God.
Yeah, core it out, heat it up, call it a day.
It is for
pineapple fleshlight.
It's for consensual non-monogamy, or to the acronym people out there, CNM. It's commonly used as an identifier with the swinger community, often displayed on clothing, jewelry, and door decorations, or even in event names like an upside-down pineapple party. For the uninitiated, swinging is a form of CNM, where partnered individuals enjoy sexual exploration with similar souls and bonding through shared escapades. It can encompass fucking in the ass, pussy work. No, I'm just wanted to say something gross there.
I call it coitus because you were talking about being coy, and then you're talking about coitus.
Yeah. No, it's just it's something that people do. I guess they get bored with their things. I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, I'm good with just one. I'm not in very good shape. This is probably why.
You're having a family.
Oh yeah, we got a little girl on the way. I am not gonna do the name reveal. I was gonna do the name reveal, and then Janice has said, "Don't do the name reveal."
Yeah, you can't do it.
What's wrong
Heidi?
with
It's Heidi, everyone.
What's
Heidi?
wrong? It's not though, but that's all right.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Shazam.
Shazam. The Sinbad movie that never happened.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, we're not going with Shazam.
We are not going.
I don't know.
Shazam.
I've put forth quite a variety of different names, but I feel like they're all quality.
I would agree with you, Tony.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. Did you just post something about Carrot Top on the Podguyz podcast Facebook fan page?
Did? Yes.
He's just there hanging out, doing his thing. He's
airing his dirty laundry.
Carrot Top has always just been his own entity of Carrot Top. You know that?
Yeah.
Of course, some people would say that he's a more evolved version of Gallagher.
Very much.
He has makeup tattooed on him, right?
He does, yeah. He's got the eyebrow.
He's got the man liner.
Man liner.
That's cute.
All right. Well, we're gonna end the show anyways, Kevin. Since you're not gonna unleash the name,
we will not.
The show.
I'm not just gonna throw a name out there. Childhood identity is the thing. Right now, her credit score is good. Baby's credit score is very good right now.
Wait till the shower.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood during the delivery, so we will have to put her in a shower.
Oh, I didn't mean
maybe at one point.
What I meant was you're going to get a lot of presents, and it'll keep the credit score good.
Maybe. I mean, my credit score is pretty amazing right now. People would assume that I'm actually, pretty good with money and all that, but. Yeah, no, I don't know. We're thinking about a baby shower, and I explained it to my wife, and she was like, not into it.
No, people surprise her with it.
Yeah.
It won't be up to her. She'll walk in one day and surprise.
She's the type of person to walk into a surprise and then walk the other way.
The only person I'm ever surprised about is Sparky.
Sparky, what do you have there on the big board? Okay, the anticipation is killing me right now.
Oh yeah, he needs to add a little tick.
Abracadabra is her name because I do not know how I got pregnant. Surprise!
That's funny.
Touche, like Sparky.
Tony. Kevin.
See, that's what happens when you just spit into it.
That's great.
You roll the dice every once in a while.
Yeah. Tony, when a boy meets a girl, do I have to give
the birds and the bees?
Tony, you have kids. I feel like this is the kind of conversation I would have to have with Sparky.
I don't know who the hell they are, but
exactly. I love how you're using
child support.
I love how you're using examples, and I'm like, that's not how it happened with myself. You're making me really gravely concerned over your own upside down pineapple.
What, you can't get any pregnant by anal? All right. Anyways, we need to end the show.
No. That was
the last word of a podcast. The word
Tony, if you can get pregnant by anal, how many times would you be pregnant by now? 7, 8, 9 times?
I mean, I'd be 6, 7, at least.
About that, Yeah. Tough.
Don't peg shame me.
I'm not peg shaming you. I'm encouraging, I'm empowering your pegging.
Oh, thank you, Kevin.
You're the Pegasus.
Anyways, the Pegasus. Yeah, we're gonna make that show. I can't wait. The Pegasus.
Yeah,
we'll have to make a short animation or something.
You gotta love it when we just we throw kinks at ourselves, Helaine, and then we don't even have them.
To a podcast where the last word on the whole podcast was good night and anal.
And good night and
that's
anal.
True. We do the thing by hitting the button.
We hit the button.
You find the G spot?
For guys, you do.
Why do they call it the G? Is it shaped like a G?
No, it's named after a man.
Huh.
It is. Yeah.
Is the guy's name G?
Yeah, his last name begins with a G.
Oh, wow.
My friend has a joke like that, and that's the premise.
That's so weird. It's like, oh, well, what are you gonna call that spot that is that gets people aroused, Gary? I'm gonna call it the Gary spot. No.
No.
Yeah, call it long like a German name. I'll Google it, but you'll be gone by then.
The G.
Just call it the G spot.
It's the
German.
cheese bot.
A lot. Gee. Heisennicker. Let me look it up.
Here's his name.
What's his name?
Ernest Gaffenberg.
Grafenberg. Wow.
See, now we're an educational podcast. There you go.
It feels like that would be the name of a sexually repressed Jewish person in Germany, you know?
Yes.
Grafenberg over there.
Who said it wasn't?
That's true. That's true.
Love it.
Sparky, where can you find us if you're looking for us, sir?
You can find us on every single major streaming platform, including iHeart, Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, Castbox, Pocket Cast, GeoReo, Facebook Live Video, YouTube. You can find our merchandise on our Facebook page.
Oh, Kevin,
And
what's the newest one? That's Listen Notes.
Listen Notes, yeah.
Listen Notes.
Go to listennotes.com, and of course, you can find our full entourage of shows as well on that.
99.9% of the shows are on there.
Yeah, I don't know where that one, just the one.
It's like it's like the that woman that tried flying a plane the one time without 4 other women.
Yeah.
Amelia Earhart, you know. They're like,
oh, I thought this was another Blue Origin story.
No. She needed all Amelia Earhart needed was 4 other women with her. And then she'd be fine, you know.
Big shout out to Helaine Witt. Thank you very much for coming on.
You guys are crazy fun.
Off to the
More
moon
me
with
and
you.
Kevin. More me and
Thanks
Kevin.
for having me twice.
That's true. A repeat performance, of course. Miss Witt, you were quite the witty individual.
Thank you. Keeping up with you 3.
It's hard. It's hard sometimes. Sometimes you need a spaceship just to do it.
I bet some people don't ever say anything because they don't want to interrupt.
Oh, that happens from time to time. It does.
Yep. We had this deaf mute person on the one time, right? Oh my God. He was a hoot, you know, constantly saying, "Roar!"
I don't know why he kept throwing up gang signals, but that guy, whew, he could do it with the best of them.
I love it how New York City always has the same person just faking sign language during any news report, like every time. Yeah.
And how they keep duping like the local politicians.
How do you
They're
do
like,
that?
I've had years of experience.
30 years.
30 years of experience doing sign language. And every time they get paid thousands of dollars and they're like, have no clue. I love it. Fact check, people. Fact check.
Fact check it. Fact check it.
You can fact check us. Fact check us every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Tony Cass.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Sparky.
And of course, Helaine Witt. Thank you very much. You're the best. We'll talk to you guys soon. We'll talk to you next week. More great interviews, more great people. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.